After Game of Thrones went out with the most resounding whimper in TV history, many critics thought it would be difficult to generate hype for the franchise ever again. Well, they were wrong. The iconic series' highly anticipated prequel, House of the Dragon, is premiering in a few weeks, and fans are super excited. And in today's video, we're going to tell you everything you need to know. So let's dive in. First off, it's going to be a family drama. Family, that's what the show is going to be about. And as you can probably guess, this is going to be a completely different family than the one Vin Diesel is so proud of. So this prequel is set 200 years before Game of Thrones, and it'll follow the Targaryens, the noble house known for warriors, their dragons, and of course, incest. It's based on George R.R. Martin's 2018 book, Fire and Blood, in which we witness the House of the Dragon handle a family row in the most gruesome way imaginable. We'll start the series with King Viserys, played by Paddy Considine, sitting on the Iron Throne as Lord of the Seven Kingdoms. If you know anything about this world, you know that this chair means trouble. As you can probably guess, members of this incestuous family will start tearing each other apart for the power to rule, and considering they possess a bunch of fire-breathing monsters, this is obviously going to get really ugly. After all, this civil war was literally named Dance of the Dragons, and in our humble opinion, that's what the show should have been called as well. And well, we'll definitely see dragons and some awesome battles. The real drama will be derived from the relationships between the characters, and honestly, that's just how we like it. Martin himself has said that those of us who love complex, conflicted, gray characters will like this series, and that the spine of the story is human conflicts, the love and the hate. So basically, we'll be seeing a character drama rather than just mindless action. And now, let's talk about the characters. We've already mentioned King Viserys. Unlike his namesake in Game of Thrones, he's a much warmer and kinder man. All he wants to do is carry forward his father's legacy and make sure everything doesn't fall apart. But here's the thing, we know that good men do not necessarily make good kings. He may mean well, but is he really deserving of holding such power? We'll soon find out. Next, the wonderful Olivia Cooke will be playing Alicent Hightower, who's the daughter of the Hand of the King, Otto Hightower. In the book, she's described as the most beautiful woman in the Seven Kingdoms. She also has a lot of connections in the Red Keep and possesses a kind of political sensibility that'll definitely help her out a lot. Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, portrayed by Emma Darcy, will also be one of the most important characters in the series. She's the king's firstborn child, is of pure Valyrian blood, and she's even a dragon rider. Obviously, we'll see men resisting the idea of a woman ruling the Seven Kingdoms. It'll be really interesting to see one of Daenerys' ancestors struggling with the problems similar to the ones she'd face centuries later. The fantastic Matt Smith will star as Prince Daemon Targaryen, who's the younger brother of the king and the heir to the throne. He's an incredible warrior, dragon rider, and also possesses a very sharp tongue. Apart from this, Princess Rhaenys Velaryon, Mysaria, Lord Corlys Velaryon, and many others are also going to be major players. The Starks, Baratheons, and Lannisters will make appearances, but they won't be nearly as important as they were in the parent show. Next up, 17 dragons. Remember how much Daenerys achieved with just 3? Well, in House of the Dragon, the family will possess 17 of those terrifying creatures. And unlike Game of Thrones, the battles here will be much more evenly balanced because both sides will be using them to get to their end goal. So you can expect a lot of VFX, destruction, fire, and blood. Of course, we'll probably go through a season full of character drama to get there, but make no mistake, we will eventually get there. And rest assured, it will be epic. We can hardly wait. And who's running the show? Well, if you hated the last season of Game of Thrones as much as most people, you'll be pleased to know that the notorious D&D is not going to be in charge this time around. And rightly so. Those dudes literally rushed the ending of the biggest show of all time just to go direct a Star Wars film. And guess what? They ended up walking away from that deal as well. So it was really all for nothing. House of the Dragon was created by Martin himself, along with Colony's Ryan Condal. Ryan will also write for the show and serve as the joint showrunner, along with Miguel Sapochnik. In case you don't know, Sapochnik directed some of the most iconic episodes of the original series. Yeah, he's the man behind Hardhome, The Winds of Winter, and the Emmy-winning Battle of the Bastards. Both Condal and Sapochnik have a very deep love for this world, and they're determined to do it justice. Plus, Martin's more hands-on involvement in this project is also really promising. So, is it going to be as good as Game of Thrones? At the end of the day, despite its underwhelming ending, Game of Thrones will always be regarded as one of the most important TV shows to ever exist. It took the medium to new heights of popularity, and for a few years there, it was all people seemed to care about. Whenever a new episode came out, the entire world watched it together like some sort of universal Netflix party. It was an incredible experience. We all cried as we saw Ned Stark meet an untimely end. We cheered when Tyrion Lannister killed his cruel father, and we were all terrified whenever Ramsay Bolton was on screen. The series is full of memorable and iconic moments that are now a part of history, and that's because it was genuinely good for the first 5 seasons. So there's no way a prequel could possibly live up to that, right? Well, in our opinion, it might. House of the Dragon has an outstanding team working behind the scenes, and we're sure they'll have learned from the mistakes D&D made towards the end of the parent show. They'll know that fans don't just want spectacle, they want a proper drama that makes sense, something that doesn't fall apart if you think too much about it. Plus, the prequel also had the added advantage of just being based on one book. We all know that Game of Thrones started falling apart the second it moved ahead of the novels. In contrast, the showrunners will not be facing the same problem here. All the content is already there, and they've probably already planned out how they're going to end it. What's more, another problem the parent series faced was that it just had too many characters and moving pieces. Here, the focus will be on just one family, and that could end up being a good thing. The series won't have to jump from one location to the other too much, and they'll have more time to focus on the main characters. So yeah, it could possibly end up being even better than Game of Thrones. But can it be as popular? Well, for that, we'll have to wait and see. But in our opinion, no. We don't think it's going to be as big as the parent show, and there's a very simple reason for that. People just aren't as interested in prequels. Take AMC's Better Call Saul, for example. The brilliant, groundbreaking prequel to Breaking Bad has been lauded by critics as one of the best TV shows of all time. Many have claimed that it has even surpassed the original series, but is it as huge and culturally impactful? No. While it has its passionate fanbase, it never truly blew up like Breaking Bad. Even now, we're in its final season, and much of the excitement around the series is related to the imminent appearance of Walter White and Jesse Pinkman. Similarly, House of the Dragon may well be a high-quality show, but we don't think it's ever going to generate as much excitement or anticipation as Game of Thrones. That was a once-in-a-lifetime show, and HBO will probably be riding its coattails for the next few decades. Remember that this is just one of the many spin-offs the network has planned. Apparently, they've signed a deal with Martin for the next 5 years, which allows them to use his work for pretty much anything they want. A sequel following Jon Snow has already been confirmed, and there are plenty more to come. And that's a wrap for this video. Are you excited about House of the Dragon? Do you think it's going to be as good as Game of Thrones? Please let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Goodbye for now, and see you in the next one.